The I-Pace has been around since 2019 and is still one of the best-looking electric vehicles money can buy.
I'm auto specialist Tom Volk for the Seattle International Auto Show. The 2022 Jaguar I-Pace has a lot of enhancements to take on all the newcomers.
It adds a lot of standard equipment, charges faster, and is significantly less expensive by around $11,000. It now starts at around $71,000 with destination very well equipped, and that price is before any federal or state tax incentives. Many forget that I-Pace has a dual personality. It's happy to romp around on pavement, but with dual-motor all-wheel drive, it's a decent off-roader with the ability to ford 20 inches of water. The two motors each pump out the same amount of power for a total of 394 horses and 512 pound-feet of torque. Feeding them is a 90 kilowatt-hour battery pack, 84.7 usable, that provides an EPA-rated driving range of 234 miles. You wake up the I-Pace just like any gasoline-powered vehicle. I-Pace is on the conventional side that way. There is no geared transmission. Choose direction here, and there are no steering wheel paddles for shifting, of course, or to add regeneration drag. That's done in the menu. There's a head-up display. I do like those. Drive modes? Yeah, there are a bunch to help the Jaguar get through all sorts of conditions. One reason it's such a good off-road machine is the air suspension. It rises from 6.5 inches of ground clearance to around 11.
The great thing about electric cars, other than the instant low-end torque that's really fun, is that they're incredibly quiet. The car is on, and you can hear nature, huh? And it's still incredibly fast, 0 to 60 in 4.5 seconds. That's so much fun. And not just taking off. It'll push you back into your seat even at speed.
After acceleration, most people are interested in how far it'll go on a charge. The 234-mile EPA-rated range is fairly easy to achieve, even in 40-degree temperatures and a lot of highway driving. I saw 225.
There's an adjustable performance tone that's inside the cabin. I've got it set for its most dynamic sound. I doubt that you can get the gravity of it in person. It sounds really cool.
I-Pace has many fine qualities that would make enthusiasts lust over one. For starters, it's quiet, what you'd expect from a car that goes for $70,000, but where it shines is on an empty country road.
Electric cars, by their very nature, handle really well because of the low center of gravity, yada, yada, yada. We've been over that a million times, but the Jaguar is kind of special. Bend it hard into a corner, and the steering is really precise. This thing is exceptionally fun to drive, a cut above.
On-center feel is as locked down as Fort Knox, and the steering weight rises with speed to become the definition of confidence. I've complained about road feel, or the lack of it, in other performance cars. Jaguar's is an art form. It's a true sports car dynamic. Eventually, this needs to be charged. The onboard unit goes from 7 kilowatts to 11, so a full fill at home using level 2 drops from 12.5 hours to 8.5, a solid improvement. It can add some 63 miles in 15 minutes at terminals like these. Speed, of course, depends on the battery temperature and the level of charge when you're plugging in.
Thing is, some 85% of all charging is done at home, and I don't recommend an EV unless you can do that. In that case, you plug in, you go to sleep, you wake up, you got a full battery. In that scenario, charging speed doesn't really make a difference.
One reason why EV shoppers would be tempted to go with the Jag? This might be the most handsome cabin in the electrified class, even considering Porsche and Audi. Materials are all first-rate, down to piano black that looks lifted off a Bosendorfer. Pockets are nicely finished with rubber mats to keep rattles down. There's storage all over the place. One advantage to EV skateboard design is the ability to create spaces like these for small things. The Touch Pro Duo's user interface has many of the features people expect from a modern system with good organization and snappy response. It's Duo because of the second screen down here. The back seat has good head, knee, leg, and foot room, and the cushions themselves are very comfortable. There are even heated seats and plenty of power ports to charge phones. I-Pace drives like a sports car, but works like a mid-sized crossover. Seats up, there's 25 cubic feet, drop them, and there's 51 to take on chores. The updated I-Pace gets more competitive with its added standard features and lower price. Plus, it's hard to beat the driving experience. Check this beautiful machine out at your local Jaguar dealership. For the Seattle International Auto Show, I'm Tom Volk.